Then proceed with the call to action presented by our congregational leadership team. Then moving on, we would have a mixed breakout room, giving you space to interact with different educators from the region. And then we would have our future plans and the closing reflection. To proceed with our agenda, there are a few guiding agreements that I would like to present to you. First, have the courage to speak up. Your voice truly matters. Second, open your mind, your heart, and the willingness to new insights. And finally, listen deeply to what is emerging. And over to you, Sashi.
Thanks. Onali, I'm so excited to know how many countries we are all coming in from. So I invite Teresa, if you can just drop in the link to the Mentimeter. I'm going to stop sharing. And then let's have the link to the Mentimeter, and all of us can just key in where we are from. I'm putting the link. Feel free to click on the link, and it will take you to the Mentimeter, which will show you the flag of the country. Hopefully the countries are well represented, and let's see where we are. Let's check in quickly. Yeah, Philippines. Well, looks like there's a race, huh? The number of persons from Philippines are stepping up. Okay, that's good. We have one from Korea. Interesting. Italy, yes, we do have our CLT sitting in Rome. So you see, there is good representation from Malaysia. Yes, the numbers will be stepping up. 9. Wow. Taiwan is on the registration, so I'm sure we will be having them joining us shortly. And we are from Germany as well. Thank you. That gives you a broad sight of the countries which are represented today in this gathering. You can well understand that we are beyond Asia Pacific. So take your time to just key in and enjoy and really encourage each other, as we know how many countries are represented in this meeting today. Yes, Sonali, on that exciting note, I'm going to ask you to take over.
Thanks, Sashi. Isn't it really interesting to see such a wide representation from many, many different countries? And I'm sure there's more who would be keying in where they're from, because we have multiple individuals behind a single screen as well. To move on with our program for today, we would now take a short moment and think through what are our hopes for this get-together. What are our hopes? Your hope you can key into the chat box so that we could gather all your beautiful hopes for today and see how we have different kinds of hopes, beautiful, blooming hopes for today's gathering. It's a special gathering, a very unique one. So let's key in the chat box what your hopes are for today. So as you key in, we see beautiful hopes, a whole list of beautiful hopes being shared in the chat box here. To be connected, unity, one spirit, building relationships, strengthen partnerships, to learn from each other, oneness, appreciate the girl child, to build wider and beautiful connections, expand connections, meet new friends, learn more. As you see, there are beautiful, beautiful hopes that we are sharing for today's gathering. So I would like to thank all of you who have shared your hopes. And now, to start with our vibrant agenda, I would like to invite Sister Pushpa, Unit Leader of Good Shepherd Central East India, Nepal, and the link person for Good Shepherd Asia Pacific Educators Committee, to the Asia Pacific Circle of Leaders to deliver the opening address for this session. Over to you, Sister Pushpa. Sister, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Onali, and good morning and namaste to everyone. Oh, beautiful tree of the Good Shepherd, how divine are the branches you have spread. We who are the branches are grateful for the roots which connect us below the soil and nourishing sky, which envelops us all as one Good Shepherd family. On this joyous occasion, I am overjoyed to see so many Good Shepherd educators gathered virtually to celebrate the 227th birth anniversary of our mother foundress, Saint Mary Euphrasia. We are also delighted to have our sisters from the Congregational leadership team in our midst. On behalf of the Good Shepherd Educators Committee and the Asia Pacific Circle of Leaders, I welcome Josita, Edith, Françoise, Mirjam, and extend a warm greeting to Sister Winifred, who has joined us from her homeland today. Indeed, we are an august gathering of mission partners who are weaving a new connections and relationships for the mission. The Good Shepherd Educators Committee was formed in 2022 August with a vision to unify the Good Shepherd educators who have a great influence over 40,000 students and their families through direct contact in the school system, the mission partners in the social services. We aim for one community of Good Shepherd educators. In Asia Pacific, grounded on Good Shepherd spirituality, responsive of the call of the times in providing value-based holistic education, imagine the power and reach you have as agents of transformation. Truly, the tiny acorn of our efforts has developed into a strong oak tree with its shady branches, sheltering thousands of persons in need. We are propelled by the 31st Congregational chapter theme, drawn by love, passionate for justice. To commit to respond with a new vision, to cross boundaries, to take account of local and global realities and the intense sufferings of our time. As Good Shepherd educators, each of us plays a vital role in this mission. Together, we create ecosystem and nurtures and empowers the minds of next generation. Our collaborative efforts ensure that education becomes a transformative experience, unlocking the potential within every student and paving the way for their intrinsic growth, grounded in Good Shepherd values. As educators, you inspire curiosity, impart knowledge, and guide students on their educational journey. You also instill values, inspire curiosity, hone creativity, and nurture a love for learning. Your influence reaches far beyond the classroom, molding individuals who will go on to become future leaders, innovators, and responsible citizens. A great teacher does not only have a good teaching style, she is good at listening. An effective teacher listens to what her students are saying to better understand them. And she also listens to what her students are not saying aloud. These are just some of the things that make good teachers. How do you see yourself as a good shepherd educator? What is the more you are being asked to become so as to respond to the needs of the children in your classroom? Thank you for your unwavering commitment to education and for nurturing the potential within each student. Your dedication is a beacon of hope for a bright and more enlightened future. Special thanks to all the organizers for preparing for this great day much ahead of time. God bless all your efforts. This gathering on the auspicious occasion of Saint Mary Euphrasia's birthday. Now, let me introduce our team of 9 members, beginning from me. I am Pushpa Louis, Unit Leader of Good Shepherd Central East India, Nepal, and I am a link person to the Asia Pacific Circle of Leaders. And my third line is, another world is necessary. Thank you. Over to Sashi. Sashi, you are muted.
Oh, I'm happy to introduce myself. I'm Sashi Natarajan, educator at Good Shepherd School in Chennai, India, the province of Central East India, Nepal, for the past 31 years. I enjoy being a partner in mission, do what I love to do most, teaching and forming the young minds. Currently, I'm the chairperson of Good Shepherd Asia Pacific Educators Committee. And my tagline is, nothing is impossible. Yes, Siska.
Thank you. I am Francisca. I am Good Shepherd Sister, province of Indonesia. I am a member of the board of Yayasan Gembala Baik Indonesia almost 1 year. My tagline, trusting in the grace of transformation. Thank you. Over to you, Dolly. Muted, Dolly.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Dolores Boras, and I have been a lay mission partner of the Good Shepherd Sisters of St. Bridget College, Batangas, Philippines for almost 30 years. Currently, I am the senior high school level principal and a member of the Good Shepherd Asia Pacific Educators Committee representing the Philippine-Japan province. Thank you. I now turn you over to Sister Sujani.
Hello, everyone. I am Sister Sujan Fernando, and I am a Good Shepherd sister, belong to province of Sri Lanka and Pakistan. And currently, I am working at St. Bridget's Convent, Colombo 7. My tagline is, nothing is impossible with God. Thank you. Over to you, Sushma.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sushma Stevens, and I'm a partner in mission from Bangalore, India. I'm an alumnus of a Good Shepherd institution that I currently work at. I represent the Southwest India province in the Good Shepherd Educators Committee, and my tagline is empower minds to make a positive impact on the society. Over to you, Onali. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Onali De Silva from Sri Lanka. I work with Good Shepherd International Foundation as the regional manager for Asia Pacific. I'm also a past pupil of St. Bridget's Convent, Colombo, Sri Lanka. I'm a member of the Good Shepherd Asia Pacific Educators Committee, and my line is, "You have learned and never." Over to you.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I'm Teresa and I'm from Malaysia. I used to work with Good Shepherd Sisters in Malaysia and with GSIF. At the moment, I'm a volunteer and I'm a member of this committee. Over to you, Geraldine.
Hello, everyone. I'm Geraldine Robert, member of the Good Shepherd Asia Pacific Educators Committee, representing Singapore, Malaysia province. I'm teaching in Marymount Convent and school, and my belief is that in line with my school motto, God is our light, I always tell my students that each of them has got special talents. And so to bring all these talents together, unique talents to go light their world. Sashi, back to you.
Hey, thanks. So that is our beautiful, amazing committee with Sister Pushpa having led us with a very beautiful welcome message. Thank you, Sister Pushpa, for that. And this bunch of enthusiasts have come together this morning to gather the educators across Asia Pacific. And it's time I invite Geraldine to lead us and center us in prayer. So over to you, Geraldine, for the opening reflection. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll center ourselves for this gathering this afternoon, this morning. And we gather our thoughts and prepare ourselves to be positive and open to today's session. So we have much to be thankful for. And as we come together with grateful hearts, to call to mind our vocation, we are all called to be in education, one in educators, in mission. So let us reflect on this wonderful role and journey that we are all in. So as educators in Good Shepherd schools in Asia Pacific, wanting to bring love to all we teach, we reflect on what we are called to be, what attributes or skills we have or need to have to bring love to all, whether it's our students, the staff members, our colleagues, and let us bring to mind the work we do or have been doing. This quote of St. Mary Euphrasia, "Be zealous, God has great plans for each of you," resonates with each of us. How are we zealous in our pursuit to bring alive the mission of our founders in our schools, in our children whom we teach? We are all called to action. The do becomes prominent. What can we do in our zealous pursuit to be good shepherds to our children? What is the impact we have had thus far? And what difference can we make further as Good Shepherd educators? Do we have passion within us to make an impact? The same passion that St. Mary Euphrasia had. Let us pause and in the calmness of our hearts think. Where is that passion now? Is it burning within us? Are we ready to inflame the world with this great passion, this zeal to love and serve? And when are we going to bring this passion in us out into action. We take a few moments to reflect on these questions. Is that zeal burning within us? We pray, Lord, thank you for your ever-loving guidance in our daily work to bring love to all. Inflame our hearts with passion and zeal as we answer your call to action and move towards to go make a difference in each child's life, as each person is of more value than the whole world. Thank you, Lord, for your abundant grace and mercy. Amen. Over to you, Sashi.
Thank you so much. Sushma will take over from here. Kindly unmute Sushma.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Geraldine and team, for centering the group and preparing us to be mindful of who we are and what we do as educators. To start off our first session, we now welcome Sister Winifred to address the gathering on justice at the core of education. Sister Winifred Doherty from the Good Shepherd International Justice and Peace Office is the main NGO representative to the UN. As an activist and social worker, Winifred is continually active and industrious, ever ready to lead a discussion, join a conversation, or accept an invitation where she can share her voice for the voiceless and advocate for human rights. She is a familiar name with the girls across our schools. Let me show you how a girl advocate, Isabel, from Good Shepherd School in the Philippines, traveled to New York and didn't miss a chance to visit Winifred. Sister Winifred, we admire your zeal and commitment to social justice. You dream justice, talk justice, and walk justice. Over to you, Sister Winifred.
Thank you very much, Sushma, for that very warm introduction. And I think you brought tears to my eyes by showing me Isabel. It was a most marvelous moment to meet her and her brother and her mum and her dad. And they all fired with justice for girls. It was such a moment. It was a culmination of all that I have experienced in Asia Pacific over the years in terms of the justice work, in terms of bringing girls to the United Nations. So thank you very much for sharing that photograph. Thank you. To everybody, welcome. And I am very happy to be here with you this morning. And I will share my screen and we'll get started. So the theme that I and your team have selected for this first part, this introduction, is justice in education. And I have added educators as influencers. And all that I'm going to share with you today has been part of a journey that we have been on for years, which ended and started, can I put it that way, at the Congregational chapter in November, December 2021. It was a long journey up to that, and we have been on a journey since that. And so I couldn't resist putting in this slide while Sashi was talking. Isn't it marvelous to think, that we can go mad? And so there was a part of me which said, why didn't I think of going mad earlier? But justice is a serious issue, but it's the go mad that makes the difference, or as you're saying here, make a difference. And so I'm going to share something with you on this journey that we have been on, and hopefully evoke questions in you that you are going to explore and look at in your teams, across the region, in your schools, and with your students. So I am going to start with a quotation, a few lines that are at the end of page 1 of this direction statement. And it says, we pledge to respond to the new that is emerging. So the invitation this morning is to newness. What is this newness that is emerging? We set directions to be integrated, sustainable, and ecological. And then we said, informed by updated theological perspectives, systems thinking, and rights-based approaches. So everything here is inviting us to a newness, to learning anew, to thinking anew, to thinking differently. And we continued, we will implement, monitor, evaluate, and adapt accordingly with good practices and policies in relationships and in ministry. So we're going to be continually adapting, changing, bringing in more newness, hearing the newness that comes from students, hearing that, allowing that touch us and open us to what it is that they see, that they share, that they experience. And so my question, what is the new that is emerging? How does the new impact your educational system and who you are in the Good Shepherd family? And so the direction statement, it's a long document, it's 13 pages. But within that, there are 6 calls to action. And so I have listed the 6 calls. A new governance model. We're to govern ourselves differently. To do that, we need formation. Not just the sisters, not just the novices, but every single one of us. We need formation. And we're invited to a universal culture of justice. I'm not going to say any more about that at the moment. Universal culture of justice. This is my topic. And we're asked to be and aware of and live partnership in mission. Partners in mission. And I'll talk just 1 or 2 words about that. And then there was an invitation for a strategic plan in terms of the whole congregation, so that we're on a journey together with each other. And there was a call to look at finance resources. So all of these topics, themes were given to us, and we are going to look at, in specific, the universal culture of justice. But we can't look at it without looking at the other calls around it. And we're living in a time, and this is written in the document as well, when everyone and everything and every place is connected and interconnected. Everyone, everything, and every place connected and interconnected. And so you can look at the diagram there, you can see worlds connected. You can think there's actually 6 globes there. You can think of the 6 calls to action, they're connected. I think you're more countries than 6, but you know, it doesn't matter how many we're in there, we're all connected. And every student, as we talk, is connected, is part of this network. And their parents and their local community, we're all connected, and we're connected to the wider world. So we're all connected. And so what are the connections? I came across this recently from Chief Seattle in America, a chief with the indigenous peoples. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together, all things connect. And so you can see the web, like a spider's web there, and the globe in the center of it, and everything linked. And he's saying, you know, we didn't weave the web of life. We are a thread in that. A thread, we are a thread, and we're all connected. And what we do to the web, we do to ourselves. And so I tried to contrast something of what is the new? What is this new that's emerging? Like what's happening in this world? And you can look at this afterwards, or you can come up with your own words to describe what's happening. And so in the big system of things, from institution to interrelational, that's how I see the call, the newness. It's not just an institution we have, we're all interrelated. So moving from and moving to. So moving from domination to stewardship. From exploitative to nurturer. From discipline. And we maybe have a lot to do with discipline in schools and rules, and they're necessary. But how do we do it in such a way that it's interrelational, that everyone is expressing an opinion? Control over, and these are just the words I took, moving to relational in and with. Moving from, I teach you, you learn. And this was very much, I think, my experience of school. The teacher, I teach, you learn. But today what I hear is, we learn, explore together. It's a whole different approach. We're invited to move from fear. I lived in fear in the classroom, to love. Love of teachers, love of the whole thing about learning, creativity, newness. From being a silent absorber of the knowledge that was being handed down, we're invited today to be active, to have a voice, to be agents in this process. And the children, the girls, the wonderful girls that you have had as advocates all across Asia, they demonstrate this so beautifully. Active voice and agency. My dream for every child in Asia Pacific and for the world. From authority and power over to participatory, we're together in this, with and for. Moving from I'm in position, I have this function, to how am I interconnected? How do I care for? Who is in this web that I am threaded to? Moving from, I know the answer, I have the truth, I know exactly what's to be done, to inviting curiosity and creativity. And moving from privilege to solidarity. So these are some of the ways that I tried to capture what is this new that is emerging. And in St. John's Gospel, chapter 10, verse 10, we hear, I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. And that's the newness, moving to this fullness of life. And so the 6 calls to action pinpoint where the new is seeking to emerge. 6 calls identify key moments where transformation, and Pushpa spoke to us about transformation, is required if the new is to emerge. We have to be transformed, each and every one of us. The transformation always begins with me and radiates outwards, is open, is inclusive. And I have heard this identified many times in Asia, and more recently, we had the We to Me lab in Asia Pacific. There's the newness coming, moving from me to we. And before that, I heard in Asia Pacific from ego, me, myself, to echo. And echo has to do with the relational web, the worldwide web. So the newness is happening in our midst, before our eyes. And so the 6 calls are not for the sisters only, and this is new. They are for all of us, because we're all interconnected. We're part of this web of life. And so the first one has to do with how the sisters govern and organize themselves. That's being revised. And it impacts you in your career, you in your ministry, and your relationship with the sisters, other staff, students, and the wider world. So while we might think of the governance for the sisters only, it impacts everybody. And to do that, number 2, we need formation to be continually learning about the new and the interconnections, the new theology, systems thinking, rights-based approaches. We've heard that so often from Teresa Simmons, rights-based approaches, sustainability, ecology, everything, the newness. What is it? The new. And so the second slide, the universal culture of justice. I won't say any more at the moment. Number 4, partnership is the word today, and hence we are all together mission partners. So if we don't want to make any distinction between a lay person and a sister, between what you're doing, what I'm doing, we just talk about mission partners. We are all mission partners. And if we want to distinguish the sisters, and we talk now about partners in mission, you, every single one of you, are a partner in mission. We are all professionals, we're educators, I'm a social worker, advocate. So you all are referred to now as partners in mission. And then there's a congregational strategic plan, and there's the finance and resources. And currently happening at a global level, we have Fridays for Finance. Again, trying to build a global awareness of what difference it makes. What's the newness in working in finance and resources? It's part of the mission. And it's necessary for management today. So let me go to the universal culture of justice. I hold that the universal culture of justice is the central call, which informs all the others. There are two areas that we're talking about: internal injustice. How do we look at what's happening among us, what's happening within our convents, what's happening within our schools, and where is there injustice? And then secondly, external injustice. What's happening in the bigger world? What's happening around us? And if we're invited to a universal culture of justice, a way of being. And so the question, what has this universal culture of justice to do with education? What is justice in education? And I'm taking a quotation from Laudato Si, because the document, it informs us about ecological perspectives, but we can look at it as telling us something about life everywhere we are. And so it says, it informs ecological perspectives and says that the humankind is no longer understood as the masters and manipulators of nature, dominating nature, exploiting nature, but rather is understood as part of the web of relationships within nature. From Pope Francis's Laudato Si document. And of course, that's what Chief Seattle was saying, whom I quoted earlier. We're all part of this web of life. And so Laudato Si says everything is related. And we human beings are united as brothers and sisters on a wonderful pilgrimage, woven together by the love of God for each one of God's creatures. And this unites us in a fond affection with Brother Sun and Sister Moon and Sister River, Brother River and Mother Earth. So we're all related. And the Pope says in that document, look, and we've been guilty of this, we're not looking for a technical remedy, a technical fix. No, he says, if we do that, we're only covering up something else. Really, what we have to do is to go deeper. We cannot separate what is in reality interconnected, and to mask the true and deepest problem of the global system. So he's talking about the global system, but your school is a global system. It's a system within systems, which often reflects what's happening in the wider world. And so it's not just getting the technical fix. We must be relational. Relational is the fix we need. And so I thought, how can I show you this? And so here's one way of looking at it. The culture of justice, I think that's central, and the other calls are around about it, but they're all interrelated. We have to be engaged in all of them. Information, we're part of all of this governance structure. We're partners in mission. We need finance resources. We need a strategic plan. We're all in there together. And as I say, the Me to We lab, that, you know, it's already begun. And how can we make this more alive and more true to who we are? With every girl, with every boy, with every parent, with every teacher, with every principal. We're all in this together. And it's all about relationships. And then if we want to move to saying, okay, justice within, how are we with each other? What does it mean if we say justice without, the external? Well, we have the 6 position papers to guide us there. How is the girl child? What's happening in migration? What's happening in the environment, the ecology? What's happening in the world of finance, economic justice? What about the whole issue of women and prostitution and human trafficking? These are all the injustices outside. But how are we inside? That has to be looked at. And if we know how we are inside, we will want to bring that out in the web of relationships. And so how does this all apply in the Ministry of Education, in the school setting? I don't have all the answers for you. No one of us has all the answers. But I am certain the answer can be found with you and your students and your principal and in your school with each other in a new relationship. And so I'm back to the transformation. We heard again from Pushpa, and I'm saying it begins with the individual. It begins with myself, me, you as the individual, in relationship with others, in a never widening circle of inclusion, relationship, influence, and partnership. Look, these are all words to try and describe what it's about. And the first way to cultivate a universal culture of justice within the Good Shepherd Ministry of Education, the school, the classroom, the network of schools across the region, is to create a community of conscience or consciousness. Creating community, not just the sisters, all of us together creating community of conscience or consciousness, ensuring an environment where all voices are heard, all opinions are explored and listened to with respect, and all ideas are expressed, valued, and respected by adults and students alike within the learning environment. And of course, this isn't just for the school setting. This is foundational, I believe, across the whole network. Sorry, there's a misspelling there, across the whole network. So this consciousness, conscience, where every voice is heard. I heard Pushpa say something about, the voices, if somebody is silent, even hearing that and exploring it in a safe environment. And so I think my time might be running out, but let me move ahead. We in Good Shepherd, and I'm sure you have heard about it, we've talked about reconciliation. In some of the older theologies, the word today that we have is transformation. But in the position paper on ecology, I thought this was interesting where it is, and this is what we're called to. And the position paper on ecology says, we admit our complicity in perpetuating dualistic and domineering attitudes about the earth. And I will add, about each other and about what's happening and about people's experiences. Dualistic. Oh, that's right. That's wrong. There's no dualism any longer. It's where are people in their experience and having this domineering attitude. You know, oh, I know the truth. No, we've to admit that, yes, that's where we've been. And we understand that reconciliation with our earth, with each other, calls for a new consciousness, a new identity, and new behaviors. And so I brought that in because it says new behaviors. We're talking about being very concrete, centered on the kinship of all creation and the implementation of human rights for all. Interdependence demands inclusion of all. Interdependence, that's another word for this network. Non-living and living, non-human and human. I added adult and child, school principal and student without discrimination. No dualistic thinking, no domineering attitudes. We learn together a new consciousness, a new identity. And so how can you become the new that is emerging in your school environment, within the walls, on the campus, with parents, with the local community, with other schools in the country, across country boundaries? That's what you're doing this morning in a beautiful way, to be a regional Good Shepherd Asia Pacific influencer. And so I'm back to where I started. You're an influencer, not stopping there, but going beyond to the other regions and to the global reality. So social justice in the real world, in the classroom discussion that helps students critically engage with issues that affect them. Critically engage, engagement, discussion, listening, inviting, curiosity, inviting exploration. That's the way forward. Forget the right and wrong. Forget the domineering attitude, taking these words from Laudato Si, from the position paper. And critically engaging. And so the guiding principles for me, and I think this might be my last slide, guiding principles, the universal culture of justice, what I've provided for you as a backdrop. So we must learn for the first time or relearn. Some of us, we can be learning for the first time. There's no right and wrong. We begin where we are. No one is better than another. And if I am learning for the first time, it's exciting. If I'm relearning, well, maybe it's based on, I tried, that didn't work very well, so I'll go back and I'll restart. How to be critically aware and alert to the persistence of systems and structures that can be carriers of injustice. The school system, the country system, the cultures that are harmful, the cultures that say girls' role is to be in the home, be silent, and just do the work. How do we look at all that? The persistence of systems and structures that can be carriers of injustice, maintaining power and privilege within the congregation, within the community, and the school ministry. It's not just pointing the finger at the school. If I point my finger, we say there's 3 other fingers pointing back at myself. So how am I a carrier of a system of injustice? We must become aware of and confront every ideology and unjust structure that exploits or excludes and denies the human rights and the dignity of people within the system and outside. And the tools I think that have been given to us are what is, I think, throughout the whole congregation now, and which we're really aware of, is safeguarding policies. How are these implemented? Where are they in your system? Because they're part of all this newness. And all of this comes from upholding all human rights. And they are given to us in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. 75 years ago this year, we're celebrating it. And they are further elaborated on in the rights of the child. So we have guidelines. But how do we read these anew, afresh, critically aware and alert to where injustice is? And so I think with that, I say thank you very much for listening, for being with me, and for taking this journey in this moment of the invitation to a universal culture of justice within the Good Shepherd family. Thank you.
I'm breathless, Winifred. I have no other words to say. You've challenged us really, bringing us to realize that we just threads in this big, huge web, and where are we in this as weavers? So on that note, I invite the participants to share your thoughts, your thoughts or insights, or what is just striking hard in your mind, apart from a beautiful emoji to thank Winifred, while Francisca, on behalf of the team, will render her thanks to Winifred. So, Siska, over to you, while we are happy to receive lovely emojis, which I'm sure Winifred will capture in her heart. Yes, Siska.
Okay, thank you. Dear Sister Winifred, on the behalf of the committee and all the participants, we would like to say a big thank you. This session is so rewarding. Your sharing and presentation help us have a better understanding of the role of education, especially regarding justice at the core of education. Thank you so much for your wisdom, your expertise, and your life energy that you have shared with us. We remain ever grateful for having you at this session. You have equipped us with the right skill for our mission in education. We are called to continue our zeal and commitment to social justice in the Ministry of Education. May our Shepherd God reward and bless you abundantly. We are sure your presence will always be a blessing to those you meet. No words can express this gratitude, only a word of a big thank you. So thank you very much, Sister Winifred. Thank you. Over to you, Sasi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Winifred. It's time for a quiz before we take a 5-minute break. If you look into the chat box now, there is a Mentimeter with a link to the quiz. It's quiz time, okay? So go to that link, click on it, and it will take you to the Mentimeter screen. I'm going to open up my own Mentimeter screen now and share screen with you. And we will see how many people have already signed in. Can you see my screen, Sashi?
Yes, and I'm excited.
Okay, let's see. Let's see how many people have come in. 108, 111, 112. We'll just give people 30 seconds more to come in. Just click on the Mentimeter link in the chat box, and we will have a quiz. And we will also see how well you have been listening to Sister Winifred. Okay, let's begin. First question. Get ready. What is Saint Mary Euphrasia's birthday? Choose the right answer. 24th April 1796, 29th July today 1796, 31st July 1796. So 126 people have posted, 133. We have 15 seconds more, 14. Everyone has voted. So let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. The answer was supposed to have been 31st July. Okay. Let's go to the second question. I'm sorry, I didn't set the Mentimeter right. The answer was to have been 31st July, 1796. What is the birthplace of Saint Mary Euphrasia? Angers in France, Nomoutier, France, or in Tours, France? Okay. 9 more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Everyone has voted. And this is the response. Nomoutier in France. And 114 people have got the answer right. Congratulations. Let's move on to the third question. Okay, 180 players all are ready. Get ready for the question. Good Shepherd schools are present in these countries. Select the correct combination. Philippines, India, Indonesia, South Korea, Sri Lanka, India, Indonesia, Myanmar, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines. Which is the right combination? For those of you who are not sure, just scroll through the Zoom screen and see what are the names of the countries of the participants who are present here today. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see. 78 have posted the right answer. Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines. We do not have Good Shepherd schools in Myanmar or South Korea. Next question, number 4. Okay, one of the movements from institution to interrelational is I teach, you learn. 2, we learn, explore together. Or I teach, you pass exams. Or I learn, you teach. Choose the right combination. Okay. Is it we learn, explore together? I teach, you pass exams, or I learn and you teach? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's look at the right response. We learn and explore together. Well done, 161 people. Winifred, they really listen to you. Okay, next. The last question. The universal culture of justice is applicable to whom? Good Shepherd sisters only, principals, teachers, and staff who are not Good Shepherd sisters, or Good Shepherd sisters, all principals, staff, and teachers. Which is the correct combination? Looks like many people are voting at the same time. The counter is moving very fast. People are choosing very well, I hope. We have 162 or 64 that have voted. And we are nearing the end. 10 seconds left. Is it just for the sisters? Is it just for people who are not Good Shepherd sisters? Or is it for sisters and everyone else? Okay, we have 155 people who have chosen the right answer. Good Shepherd Sisters, all principals, staff, and teachers. So let's see what the ranking is. The leaderboard. Who wins in this quiz? It's calculating. We have GOAT in first place with 4,852 points. Well done to this person. So let's give a round of applause to this person. And Sashi, over to you.
Happy to know that what goat got the first place. And I think on that note, let's vote for a short break. While we wait for the others to join in, let's just recall how it was last year this time. No, we had a gathering. Why don't you share that little video? I'm sure by the time everyone would have joined in.
Sure, I'll do that now. Here we are. Let me put it on full screen.
Good Shepherd Educators Gathering. Building compassionate connections. 31st July 2022. What better way to celebrate the 227th birthday of St. Mary Euphrasia? Dear daughters and sons, you are called to be so many good shepherds. Instruct yourselves thoroughly in all that relates to the ministry, even in the smallest things. Be very attentive, gathering grain by grain, like little birds, the spiritual food that is given. Look how our girls and boys have built bridges. We are one Good Shepherd family. We are the ones we are waiting for.
That was indeed a wonderful memory of our first gathering. Thank you so much for the one who did that beautiful video. As Good Shepherd educators, we're happy to build compassionate connections across all the miles. And now it's time to move to action. and make a real difference. Today, we're privileged to have 4 members from the Congregational Leadership Team, or the CLT in short, who are the link counselors for Asia Pacific. So we now have joining us this afternoon, we're very privileged. We are joined by Sisters Josita, Sister Marie Françoise, Sister Mirjam, and of course, we also have Sister Edith. Sister Josita, Marie, and Mirjam are the members of the Apostolic Council, while Sister Edith Olaguer is the Contemplative Counselor. The CLT has been traveling to different parts of the world to study the realities, support, and facilitate the mission. The mere presence of the 4 sisters who are dialing in at wee hours in the morning from different parts of the world is a witness of partnership and team leadership. We are truly inspired by your presence with us today. We appreciate your desire to engage all the educators as significant mission partners, sisters, and lay persons who co-design the future of the mission. Truly, we are excited to have the congregational leaders in our midst today. And so we now invite the team to enlighten us on the congregational calls to action and prepare the soul for change.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Sushma. So good day to you, dear mission partners. It is such a great joy to celebrate with you the birthday of our loved foundress, Mary Euphrasia. After such an energizing input by Winifred, I'm sure all of us are energized to recommit, to go make a difference, to go mad. Yes, to recommit, to be drawn by love and passionate for justice. We, the Congregational Leadership Team, acknowledge and affirm that each one of us present here are mission partners. Winifred has beautifully explained to us that mission partners, sisters, as well as partners in mission, we call ourselves mission partners. So we are here together as one big family. I will begin my presentation today, and thereafter my colleagues will continue. I will share with you an overview of the leadership structure, highlighting the involvement of mission partners in achieving the congregation's goal. As mission partners, our passion for mission binds us together, and the strength of our partnership encourages us to be change makers, and as Winifred said, to be influencers of so many lives. We are here as one family, complementing and enriching each other with our unique gifts, talents, encouragement, and friendship. The very purpose of our congregation is to enable fullness of life for all people and all creation, especially fullness of life for women, girls, and children living on the margins of society. Having learned in a Good Shepherd school myself in Sri Lanka, I have great admiration and appreciation for you, educators, who touch the lives of young girls and children daily. You enable young lives to grow in dignity and become the best each one is called to be. mission, love lies at the core of your identity, of our identity, and impels our transformative efforts. Our congregational structure is founded on collaboration and solidarity as we connect and network with one another to strengthen mission. So love is at the core of who we are. It is love that has brought us here together. The congregational leader, along with her team, leads the congregation in unity alongside the different congregational officers of justice and peace, spirituality, Good Shepherd International Foundation. The congregation is geographically organized in units. Each one of you are coming from different units, which include one or more countries. These units are led by a unit leader and her team who together with sisters and partners in mission work for the upliftment of the marginalized. We are united in one mission, the mission of love. And as Mayor Euphrasia said, we are called to just love. As mission partners, we strive together towards the development and sustainability of mission. Mayor Euphrasia said, together we are capable of working wonders. Yes, together as sisters and partners in mission, we transform our world. From the very inception of our congregation, partners in mission have played a crucial role in the Good Shepherd mission. You would have heard some beautiful stories of Count de Noël, Andigne, and today, so many of you are part of this mission. We are blessed with this rich tradition in our congregation. In the recent times, we have grown more conscious of including partners in mission in co-designing and co-creating our future. We need to acknowledge that we are in different spaces in this journey of inclusion, and we have a long way to go. Through our partnership, we foster a sense of unity, purpose, and empowerment, enabling one another to own the vision and feel a sense of belonging in making a positive difference in our world. Coming to the planning of and decision-making, how we collectively do this planning and decision-making in the congregation. The planning and decision-making forum in the congregation is known as the Congregational Chapter. Unit leaders, representatives from the units, and congregational officers from all the different Good Shepherd locations globally come together in one location to review the past, co-sense the future, present, and co-design the future. So this is called the Congregational Chapter, where we plan and make decisions collectively as a congregation. And this process happens every 6 years. The last Congregational Chapter, which was in 2021, during this we witnessed the energy of around 110 participants, with nearly 20 to 30 partners in mission participating in all conversation and crafting the direction forward. Through discernment and dialogue, we embraced transformation and committed to act justly in all our relationships. And Winifred shared with us the 6 calls to action that were the outcome of our Congregational Chapter 2021. And today, my colleagues will share with you the underlying values that are a source of strength for us as we respond to these calls to action. We trust in the grace of transformation, and we courageously and wholeheartedly commit ourselves to move forward together. And now Edith will share with you the call to action of universal culture of justice and the values of mercy and reconciliation that are at the core of this call. Over to you, Edith.
Thank you, Josita. Hello to everyone. I will first talk on mercy. Not too long ago, there was a man named Thomas Merton who, when asked to describe his life, said, "Mercy upon mercy upon mercy." In a conversation between God and Moses, this is how God described God's self. God, your God, is compassionate and merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in goodness and truth. One of Mary Euphrasia's prayers that we know of is her aspirations, where she pleads, "God of compassion, may every beat of my heart be a prayer to obtain grace and pardon for all. May all my sighs be so many appeals to your infinite mercy. May each look or may each gaze have the virtue to gain to your love those whom I shall look on. May the food of my life be to work without ceasing for your glory and the saving of all. Amen." Pope Francis has said that at times we are called to gaze even more attentively on mercy so that we may become a more effective sign of God's action in our lives. Mercy is a force that reawakens us to new life and instills courage in us to look to the future with hope. At the core of the gospel, then, and central to the life of our congregation, is mercy and reconciliation, out of which we live out a universal culture of justice. So, what is mercy? What does it mean to you? Let us pause for a moment and see what comes up to mind and heart when we think of mercy. In scriptures, mercy describes God's face, we are told. It describes God's relationship with God's people, and it is a movement of love toward the one who is loved. It is felt as a force coming from the womb or the breast, seeking to embrace the one coming back. It is a love that waits with patience, that welcomes with a hug or an embrace, seeking to protect, to forgive, to reconcile, to make the first move, kissing away prepared excuses and pleas for pardon. When we have this love, Its source is not from us. Its source is God's love and is totally unconditional. We can even say that we will go mad. We will make a difference because then we have an experience of the risen Christ, whose wounds are those of love and mercy, wounds that continue to heal and save. We cannot manufacture this kind of love, this kind of tenderness, for its power is of God. But we have the innate capacity to receive this love and exercise it. The more we practice mercy, the deeper it goes into our nervous system, creating new brain patterns so that it becomes habitual and a way of life. Since mercy is of God, the more we practice it then, we also co-create with God the dream God has for our world. Then we experience newness of life, like Winifred has said. From the verbs used above to describe mercy, to gaze, to look, to embrace, to wait, to welcome, we understand and see that mercy is very much an action word and involves very practical steps towards transformation, the overarching goal of the 31st Congregational chapter calls to action. Mercy and the practice of justice. Mercy gives us new life. We cannot respond to the gift of life with another equivalent gift, one that would repay as much as we have received. For us, the only appropriate way to respond to the gift of our existence with something equivalent is to honor the other. Honoring the other, especially the wounded one. Justice, which is the virtue that orders people in relationship to give to each his or her own, is the foundation of our beingness, who we are. Our very profound identity, our humanness, our humanity. Wounding justice then, even if no one notices, wounds the social being of the person who commits an injustice. Honoring the other, especially the wounded one, which is in all of us, is the way in which humankind can make itself worthy of what it has received. Dignity, from the Latin dignus, in Greek axios, is a value regarding the weight, respect, and esteem that a person merits by the fact of being a person. We don't give dignity to one another. Dignity is innate in us. Recognizing this in others means recognizing oneself as equal to the other in this fundamental aspect of being created that is more essential than all of our differences. Being is given to all of us. We did not create it ourselves. And so recognizing our creaturehood is to know that there is only one God, and it is not us. We exercise no control over anyone, and we possess no one. Wounding the dignity of the other implies wounding the equality that we have in common. Whoever treats the other in an undignified way also becomes undignified, without any weight, without any value. Not wounding the other then constitutes both inner and outward justice, a question rooted in our very being as persons. Wounding another person means wounding myself where I am most me because I am us. If in striking another, I wound myself, I wound the us, the US, us, that identifies who we are. And when I embrace the other and care for that person, I repair our social fabric in its most intimate part, which springs forth from the recognition of an equal human poverty, because our lives are not our own. Life is God's, God who is mercy upon mercy upon mercy. As has already been said, mercy is a very concrete word that transforms us in many different ways. It is also a process that takes various forms. It can become a way of life, a horizon of hope towards which we fix our gaze as we create paths or co-create paths of transformation. For Pope Francis, mercy shapes his way of understanding the meaning of church or the meaning of education as a witness of mercy. It is also the way we see the world and reality. For God acts in the lives of people, not only in the lives of people, but also in the historical processes of peoples and nations, even the most complex and intricate. Thus, God's mercy fits within the affairs of this world, of societies, human groups, families, schools, students, and individuals. This is the metaphor of Francis, a torrent of misery, swollen by sin, seems to contradict the fullness of time brought by Christ. Yet, this swollen torrent is powerless before the ocean of mercy that floods our world. All of us are called to immerse ourselves in this ocean at this time of the world's immense suffering and untold anguish, consternation, and thoughtlessness. The image, then, that I leave before you is an image of an ocean of mercy flooding our world, overpowering the river of misery that flows through it. The obstructed bed of a muddy river looks like it is subsumed by a torrent, a rampant and unstoppable flood of fresh spring water. God's merciful presence can change a time of misery into the fullness of time. This, then, is the power of mercy to change the meaning of historical processes, purging muddiness and sweeping away debris. Mercy changes everything, meaning, purpose, the joy of life, and changes our world from the inside out until it becomes within and without, for God, from God, with God. In other words, a culture of universal justice. Thank you.
Mirjam.
Now, so as Edith said, the dignity of a person is owned by this person herself. That is one of our values. And I'm going to speak about safeguarding, our safeguarding policy, which is an expression of our values in action. If you just put the first slide. So our safeguarding policy holds values and has a significance for several reasons. It is rooted in centuries-long commitment and reflects the mission of the Congregation of Our Lady of Charity of the Good Shepherd. Inclusivity lies at its core, ensuring protection for all, especially women, girls, and marginalized groups. The policy upholds our responsibility to shield children and vulnerable individuals from abuse, extending its comprehensive reach across all communities and ministries. With safety as our priority, the policy creates secure environments within our communities and ministries. Addressing power imbalances is crucial in communal living and ministry service to foster respect and trust. It is firmly rooted in our mission and tradition, aligned with human rights principles and social science for evidence-based effectiveness. Upholding Catholic social teaching, the policy promotes justice, compassion, and respect. Please go to the next slide. Applying to all within Our Lady of Charity of the Good Shepherd, sisters and associated personnel, the policy ensures collective responsibility for safeguarding. School principals, teachers, staff, technicians, cleaners, and gardeners are all vital in maintaining safe environments and nurturing learning spaces. We have 3 standards in our policy. Standard 1 of the policy centers on creating and maintaining safe environments. Proper recruitment, written guidelines, respect,
lingkungan yang aman, termasuk pelatihan dan komunikasi mengenai pesan ini, merespons terhadap
provides information and support for children and vulnerable individuals while clearly identifying safeguarding responsibilities and contacts. Training equips relevant personnel to respond appropriately to concerns. Standard 2 focuses on responding to concerns, suspicions, and allegations of abuse. Clear guidelines, accessibility of information, following international best practices, designated individuals for handling reports, confidential recording and storage, transparency with set timeframes, and emphasis on confidentially support effective responses. The policy provides support and advice and information on seeking help and advice. Support systems are in place for all involved. Standard 3 emphasizes the implementation, monitoring, and monitoring of standards. A detailed plan, adequate resources, regular reviews, timely responses, and ongoing monitoring ensure a dynamic and effective commitment to safeguarding. This flow chart that you find in the policy outlines the reporting process for concerns or allegations related to safeguarding within our congregation. Yeah. The process is designed to ensure a proper response and investigation while maintaining confidentiality and providing support to all parties involved. The first step, so the concern or allegation is received. This is the starting point where a concern or allegation related to safeguarding is received by the congregation. The second step, the safeguarding focal person at the unit and country level acts as the initial point of contact for safeguarding matters, and these points are responsible for handling the case. The third, the safeguarding focal point reports without delay to the safeguarding contact person at the community and ministry level. If the allegation doesn't relate to community or ministry personnel, the focal point reports directly to civil authorities as well when law requires it. Sometimes you have to do also a report. It depends from the country law. Then step 4, the safeguarding focal person is required to report the concern or allegation promptly to the following authorities: to the unit leader, to the GSAF safeguarding focal person, if applicable to the reported case. That means if GSF is monitoring the project. To the congregational safeguarding advisor, and to the civil authority if applicable. It depends on the law of the country. This is done following the regulations and requirements of the local contacts, and it is not a breach of confidentiality because it is required. But all parties involved in the process are expected to abide by confidentiality standards, and information will only be shared with those who have a legitimate need to know. Next slide, please. As educators and as a community working in a school, we hold a sacred responsibility to create a secure and nurturing environment for our students, allowing them to thrive and reach their fullest potential. This can only be achieved through our serious engagement with the congregation's safeguarding policy. Let us be proactive and agile in our approach, always seeking to improve and refine our practices. It would be good to deepen our knowledge about safeguarding in capacity development sessions, to unlearn outdated practices and adopt new, better approaches to protect our students. If we encounter outdated or inadequate practices, let us not shy away from rectifying them. The well-being of our children must always come first, and this might require us to step out of our comfort zones. Review existing processes, know the laws, and be brave in making necessary changes. Read the safeguarding policy and adapt it to your reality. Our unified commitment to safeguarding will create a brighter, safer future for our children, where they can flourish and grow with confidence. Thank you. And I will put the safeguarding policy in the chat in a few minutes, and you can download it so that you are sure that you can read it and deepen your knowledge. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Seeing you all today give us a lot of hope for the future. which we are building together. You know, I have always been touched by the commitment of our sisters in our schools. You have in you the values and principles which we have.
You are mute.
Françoise, you have to unmute, yeah.
Yes, I have to begin again. Okay.
Please.
Yes,
At this point.
I begin from the beginning. Yes. Yes, I was saying that seeing you all today give us lots of hope for the future we are building together. And I was saying that I was always touched when I visit our schools to see the commitment of the teachers. You have in you the values and principles which we have just heard from Edith. And as you know, working as a teacher is a vocation. A teacher who embodies values of reconciliation, mercy, patience, and universal justice plays a critical role in shaping the minds and hearts of the students. At the same time, we just heard Mirjam explaining to us the safeguarding policy, which is good for us to know deeply and be very familiar to this policy. Let us see the slide one. So we see two persons trying to build something together, trying to share their ideas, talents, and also we saw a vision, we see mission, and what can we add? Another mission partner with values, isn't it? Or another mission partner with commitment. So we are complementary. We are co-responsible. Next slide. So it's good to know that partnership has always existed in the congregation. It is not new. It began in the times of St. Mary Euphrasia and John Hughes, and sure you will know Count de Neuville, Countess d'Indigné, and so many. And let us see today our mission partners, all our mission partners we know. So in partnership, the mission is the center, but not the sisters or partners in mission. It is mission-centric and based on the right. Go back. Okay. Some of you, or many of you, may be familiar with the document Zeal Call Us to Respond, which we have used for different sessions. It was a report of the international committees to implement the 30th Congregational Direction Statement. So this is with this document, which I will use today to present the 5th stage of Zeal Call Us to Respond. So where are we today on our journey of partnership? What steps? What changes have we made? What is the experience of working together, sisters and lay mission partners? So Winifred spoke to us about the changes, about the differences. So what are we today? Where are we today on this journey? If we look at the picture on the right, on the left side, What can we say? What do we see? We are interconnected as one body. Winifred explained to us in details. We are not in our little place or our country or our continent. We embrace the world. We have a global view. We are interconnected. We are therefore parts of the same body, complementing each other with our gifts and talents, enriching and encouraging each other forward in mission. We understand that the vocation for mission is shared by everyone who feels drawn to live co-responsibility to the full. We ensure that the charism, values, the heritage of Our Lady of Charity of the Good Shepherd remain at the heart of the mission. If we do not have enough knowledge, enough expertise, we can request, we can innovate, we can propose. Let's be proactive. Let's learn. And Euphrasia also told us, if you always love one another, if you always uphold one another, you will be capable of working wonders. So now, I think many of you know this table. As we see, we are in different stages. This is okay, because we are on a journey. The problem is when we are stagnant, when we are not moving, no growth, no movement, no change. We must move, even slowly. But I know in many places we are moving. Newness is there. We are moving from I to we. Let us look at the 5 stages of our document, Zeal Calls Us to Action. Let us see this guide which can help us to assess where we are. But we understand that we cannot change from one day to another. We cannot change from one day to another to become fully engaged. It is a progressive process. The important things that I said, we have to keep going, keep improving on the both sides. So we see the minimal engagement where sisters solely carry out ministries. No, we have the charism. Benefactor's role is superficial. Sisters remain in charge. We have all been in a certain point in this place. In our story, we have all been in this minimal engagement. We have experienced this. And when we move towards engaging, movement towards engaging partners, when it is conscious inclusion of people with talent and expertise, we begin to discover that we are complementary. Inclusion of benefactors, board members, advisors in missions, very important. We need each other. We are complementary. Employees, volunteers realize as supporters of the mission. We made a step. And when we go in the middle place, which is a good place, but also a dangerous place, because now we have done this effort, there's fear, worry, attempts to move backward. Oh, one mistake maybe is very, very serious. Loss of control of power. This is a place sometimes where we have experience. When we move after this place, we move, we become safe. No? This is the three first places are quite difficult. But as I told you, on the continent, in our congregation, different units or in different stages. So when we move to full commitment or to partners in mission, the sisters and partners are accepted as equal, experiencing trust and work side by side in mission. I need you, you need me. I have something to learn from you, you have something to learn from me. Staff, benefactors, volunteers included in meetings and events. Recognition that in most situations, partners in mission are doing the work in greater numbers than only sisters. And then the climax. In the fourth stage, there is a change in mindset. There is a shift of both sisters and partners in mission. Then after this shift, we arrive to full engagement of mission partners where not all, we are far from it somewhere, but full engagement of mission partners has been realized in some parts of the world. All recognized as committed to co-responsibility for mission. Joint formation is based on mission and values. I heard in another, in one of the speakers, which was saying formation, I think Winifred, formation for mission partners and sisters, partners in mission and sisters for everyone. So then appropriate inclusion in meetings, decision makings, and organizational strategic work, effectively defining our mission by the lives we touch. And I'm sure that every one of you, the 358 participants, are trying to see where I am, in what table I am, in what column I am. But we are moving. Next. So this is the next table also in minimal engagement, the mentality. If we recruit more sisters, we would not need partners in mission. And then the lack of religious vocation is faced and discussed. But we know that if we have mission partners, it is not because we don't have enough vocation. It has been since the beginning. It is very essential. And then the third, we have seen the fourth, where maybe many of us are, and then the fifth, inclusive language move us from charity model to an effective, inclusive, right-based approach. Expertise-based leadership role shared in co-responsibility, like we saw in the first slide, for mission at all levels. Partners in mission are entrusted with resources and finance in order to continue. So we are stronger together. When we are all together, we are moving together, we are stronger. Let us continue working hand in hand, guided by the zeals that drive us to fulfill the goal of our mission with dedication and enthusiasm. Thank you all, to each one of you, for your valuable contribution and unwavering commitment. Together, we can achieve great things in service of our shared mission, in the spirit of our founders, John Hughes and Saint Marie Euphrasia Pelletier. May this station be an opportunity to strengthen our bonds and advance our mission with love and compassion. So now the next step, having heard the inputs, what is the one thing that I can do differently as a Good Shepherd mission partner when I return to school? Thank you.
Thank you, Sisters Josita, Mirjam, Edith, and Marie-Françoise for your sharing. You can stop sharing the screen now. And I invite Sister Sujani from Sri Lanka to express gratitude on behalf of all of us before Onali brings us into the breakout rooms. Over to you, Sujani.
Yes, Teresa, thank you. Yes, sisters, we are stronger when we are together. It's true. So on behalf of the entire Good Shepherd educators and Asia Pacific Educators Committee, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the members of the Apostolic and Contemplative Councillors of Congregational Leadership Team for your invaluable presence and contributions as panelists in our gathering. Thank you for preparing us for congregational calls to action and for preparing us to be change makers. We are immensely grateful for your unwavering commitment to our mission and your passionate involvement as significant mission partners and sisters. Your dedication to co-design the future of our mission is truly inspiring, and we cannot thank you enough for your invaluable contribution. Your collective wisdom, creativity, and vision shape the direction of all the Good Shepherd educators. We as the educators ensure that we remain steadfast in our commitment to excellence and innovation. Once again, we thank you all for your informative sharing. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Sujani. We invite Onali to take us to the next bits.
Thank you, Teresa. I think after listening to the empowering sharings by Sister Winifred and our dear sisters from the Congregational Leadership Team, I'm sure it has brought much inspiration to all of you to go mad, to make a difference. To take our conversations and sharings further, we would now direct you into breakout rooms to connect with fellow Good Shepherd educators across the region. Now, this means that we will direct you to the breakout rooms where you will be interacting with different educators from all over the region. To do so, we will need one volunteer for each group to read the question out and to facilitate that conversation in your small group. And then another who would be the timekeeper, who would ensure that you do all your discussions on time. And also, we would be sharing a Google link, a link to a Google form on the chat, which you will access and share all your thoughts and sharings into that Google form. And I think it is very important for all of us to remember that we have to listen with our hearts and minds open to hold that space for all of us to do our sharings. And also to remember that your voice really matters. So please key in your thoughts and sharings into the Google form. The link is shared on the chat box. And I wish all of you fruitful sharings with your teammates in the breakout rooms.
Over to you, Onali.
All right, I think we have our participants coming into the main session. I hope everyone had interesting conversations in your breakout sessions. I would like to invite you, maybe we can have few of you, one or two of you, sharing your thoughts and things that you discussed in your groups so that we can all hear and learn from you as well. So I'm going to open the floor for any volunteers who would like to share your thoughts with the larger group. The question we had was quite interesting. What would you take back as an educator? What would you take back to your school from the learnings and sharings you have gathered from today? So any volunteers who would like to share your thoughts, I would like to welcome you to unmute yourself, and we could hear from all of you. And you could, thank you, Sashi, you could use your raise the hand option so that we can see who you are and give you the space to share your thoughts. All right, we have Sister Arabella from Philippines. Yes, sister, would love to hear
Yes,
from
good
you.
afternoon and good morning to everyone. I just speak for our group in breakout room 10. We make up the group from Philippines, Indonesia, and India. We have came up, we agreed that after listening to one another, where we also resonate with everyone's response, we said that justice really be part of our education. And with that is also mercy, being kind to every person, not just in the school environment, but wherever we are, being carriers or witnesses to justice and mercy. And we do this by being conscious in our words and actions, and that this is one way also of making difference in the life of our students and everyone in the school environment. And one of us also wanted to say that we'll just be very conscious to educate our students without violence and be a humble person, myself or ourselves, and to serve one another with happy hearts. And all this we can also do not only responding to what is there, but we can do it also by creating the environment so that everyone will be given that freedom to express themselves, to be themselves, and to grow all together. So that's what I heard in our group. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sister. Thank you for the beautiful sharing. And then we can go to Sister Rosina from Pakistan.
I am very thankful. Today's session is very, very helpful and very inspiring session. So in our group, we discussed that I learn to practice when I get back to my workplace or some, to practice mercy towards our students, teachers, parents, and whoever come to us. So this is very much lacking, to be merciful towards the people whom we are dealing every day in our life.
I see many beautiful wishes being shared to make a difference with being compassionate and humble, to love one another, to be kind and merciful. Thank you very much for these beautiful wishes that you've shared for all of us. And as you keep sharing your wishes on the chat box, I would like to invite the Good Shepherd Asia Pacific Committee to once again join together so that we could have our closing reflection.
We'll begin. A chance to make a difference. I guess that's all I ask.
To leave my mark on the world with every deed and task.
So much goes unnoticed, yet it's the little things in life.
To humbly enjoy victory or move on in times of strife.
Onali,
Did I make a difference? Only you know for sure. Sometimes it is the smallest things that truly do endure.
If you want to make a difference, don't wait, just do it now.
You never want to miss a chance. You never want to miss a change to turn things upside down.
Truly one cannot miss the chance to make a change. And I think the whole session this morning has been igniting us and pushing us forward to say, can I be different? How can I really be just and fair? And the beautiful messages which have come in on the chat box are testimony to say, hey, I'm ready. I want to be loving, more compassionate, more fair in my school system. I'm ready to learn and unlearn and relearn. Wow, what more can I ask for? So on that note, I think it's a very, very warm feeling to know that as educators, we have dared to come together and address what really needs to disturb us so that we can really step forward as educators, responding to the congregational calls to action today and into the future. So on that note, with each one of you, much gratitude. And I would like to share that on behalf of this group, we are happy to collate the responses, categorize the various actions or the calls to action that you have put down on the Google form. And we will present it back to every participant who has been here on this meeting today as your tool to go mad and make a difference. So please do await that the responses which will be shared back with you on behalf of this group and all of the, I especially thank Winifred and Edith, who was, I should mention, who's been burning the midnight oil, and all this, the CLT who has come across from various parts, though they should have been really in one place. They worked, that really goes to show that we are ready to work across all the miles just to bring that tempo into this gathering. So, namaste, Nandri, thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sashima.
God bless you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Terima kasih. Thank you, everyone.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Much, everyone. So marvelous.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih. Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Everyone. Thank you. God bless you. Bye. Thank you again. Salam.
Thank you.
Abel, thank you, Abel.
Bye.
Oh,
I should especially say thank you to Siska for the lovely invitation for our friends from Indonesia.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For the organizers. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless everyone.